table 17, Dennis Horan and Mick Warner. Dennis Horan and Mick Warner on 17, on 24.
Hang on. If I take a picture of that, will you know to sign in? Or what? I'm telling them this is what does she put in? What product are you on? Is that what she types in on internet to watch?
Yeah, production.
That's now.
YouTube.
On table 6, Nathan Wilbur, Carl Page. Nathan Wilbur, Carl Page of table 6. On 28, Johnny Callahan, Whitechapel. Johnny Callahan, Whitechapel of 28. Table 30, Eric Aubrey, Kerry Morris. Eric Aubrey, Kerry Morris of
So Craig Dixon against Scott Foster. Scott Foster wins the lag and breaks off in the first frame. So Scott choosing to go yellows, and the obvious problem is the yellow that's tied up. So needs a plan for that one. And just become a little bit more tricky as well with that flick. Now that yellow isn't really available to bottom left. It'll still go to bottom right, but he needs to start thinking about how he's going to land on these balls. I think he's just tried to put a little bit of covering fire in there, and he's not managed to do it. It's Craig Dixon who comes to the table. Craig, if my memory serves me correctly, is from the Doncaster area. I think he plays from Murphy's Sports Bar over there in Doncaster, I believe. And also, I think I've seen him play a couple of times before, and he's a pretty good cueman. Nice first frame, nice clearance. Jumping on that opportunity. And over by Scott. I think Scott Foster from the Northampton area got into that one. Cue ball fairly pinged down the table. I think he was just trying to stun across for the yellow on the right, but come way further down the table than he wanted, and there's the testers. Played it well. Just needs to think about what he's going to do with the 8. I think he's forced into taking the yellow. Oh, it's horrible now, isn't it? I mean, if you take the one at the bottom of the table, then you have to leave yourself the right angle on the one at the top. You probably have to take the one at the top of the table now. Just stun across into the red next to it. And then you really just need to leave the cue ball down the bottom end of this table. Maybe to play the black into the right centre. Did he need to come across the table? Could he not just stun across into that red ball? I mean, it would guaranteed himself a shot on the last yellow. He just tried to get a bit closer, make his work a bit easier, and at what cost? Could well cost him the frame. I think it was one of those he just had to take his medicine, give himself any kind of shot. Because even if he did get closer to his work, he wasn't guaranteed a really good angle. It's not the worst result. He's left it tricky. I mean, it's simple enough for Craig to play a safety shot. It's never, you should never really be getting back to an open shot when you just leave your opponent with one with all of his balls on the table, and you've just got that one. You should just never be returning to the table, or never be returning with a look at it. If you do come back, you should be in a lot of trouble. So Craig played that first shot as a shot to nothing, and cued it well. From the jaws of the pocket. I mean, when I say not the worst result, I meant not the worst result in terms of where he left the cue ball. It was always going to be, he was always going to be in a lot of trouble. Craig really showing he is a very, very fluent player. Just left himself a big angle here, but again can just run the cue ball on and off, side cushion lever, a nice straight 8 ball. You're going to be tweaking this one. Very confident. Stylish player. 2 frames to know he's on the hill. These short races. Don't forget the action will be coming thick and fast all through the day. It's a roll on, roll off. We will reset the stream each time, and the reason for that is because we've got a huge back catalogue of games for you to go and watch through the Beer Productions channel. So we like to give you the option to be able to search by player names. So we reset the stream each time. But just make sure that you do keep rejoining us as you get the notifications. If you've subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell, you'll get a notification every time we go live. Scott just taking a few seconds while his opponent's gone for a bathroom break. Next up, after this game, it's going to be Ben Sabre against John Bevan. Use the whole of the pocket. So then, oh, well, I think Craig thought that was in. I certainly did. He was walking around for the next shot. So another lifeline for Scott to get himself into this game. And as much as it's a nasty clearance, it does have an opening ball to left centre if he wants to take it on, and that little nudge a second ago on the red may have just done Scott a favour. That was a big ask. I don't think the yellow closest to the bottom left passes the 8-ball. We're pretty sure it doesn't. So maybe just needs to try and find a way to. He's just putting in a little bit of covering fire. So I think he's trying to buy himself some time. I think he's going to have to play the yellow that's nearest the left centre off that 8-ball to break open that pocket. So he just put some cover in over the right-hand pocket to buy himself another visit to the table and just put the pressure on Scott. As always, please do share the stream if you get the opportunity. I know it's not quite so easy from YouTube, but you can copy the link and stick it up on social media just to let your friends know that there is a game going on over the weekend. That's a little tap on the table from Craig, but I don't think that. I think it's done him a bit of a favour, actually. Well, that's not. He was trying to pop that off of the 8-ball just to push the 8-ball out of the way. Another bit of covering fire, you feel. Just locking up that pocket. It's not a bad shot at all because now he's left a plant as well. And closed off the pocket. For any kind of attempt to develop things down there. Yellow's in control of this game now. Hard to see how Scott can wrestle any kind of advantage from this situation. I mean, is he forced into playing the red into the middle and sending the cue ball up off the top cushion and try and develop something? Or is he just going to play a little container just to... Yeah, he's tried to push the red on top of the yellow whilst at the same time just sticking this yellow on the bottom cushion. But Craig wise to it and straight away opening things back up again. I wonder, is there an option here for... It's a risky little shot, but could Scott plant the red onto the 8-ball and just push the 8-ball over that bottom pocket? Just to try and buy himself some time so the 8-ball is at least in front of those two yellows. That's what he's tried to do. Again, just giving Craig something to think about by pushing that yellow there, but I think probably you pull the trigger here, wouldn't you? The yellow passes the 8-ball and you can develop the other one off of the same shot. Yellow definitely squeezes past the 8-ball, pretty much guaranteed to get the other yellow out, relying on a little bit of luck about where it goes. He's left a lovely angle to be able to do it. So this is really the last throw of the dice for Scott, and hoping for any kind of luck. Well, I suppose take solace in the fact that it's gone a little bit tricky. I mean, is Craig, he's not forced to take the yellow and try and get on the one up the rail. He could take the one up the rail now, knowing that if he misses it, he's still got that cover over the bottom right pocket. I think that's probably the kind of, that's the sensible option. I like it. I prefer it. Doesn't even have to go for the pot if he doesn't want to, but I'm sure he will. That's the only reason I said I wonder if he would go for the pot, because he was in danger of snookering himself. And now he's left an angle, actually, for Scott to screw across into that problem yellow. Maybe even with the red on the bottom cushion squeeze past it. Don't think it does. He can definitely screw across into it. Didn't get anything like what he wanted to on the cue ball. Didn't get the grip at all. Played it too much of a pace. Needed to play it at less of a pace and steal a bit of the pocket to be able to screw the cue ball across there. That's absolutely what he tried to do, but the screw just didn't take. Another little containing shot, trying to push the red in front of the yellow, but not done it. And you think that should be final rights. I think he put the wrong side on that. I saw him queuing it up with right hand side and thought, unless he just maybe was trying to go side cushion then top and then back around, but just cued it a little bit thinner and it didn't take. But ultimately it's bit of a horrible shot he's left with. He's going to have to go one cushion. Oh dear. Well, there's life in the old dog yet. Scott Foster with that dog's life. Choosing to pick up the cue ball, which suggests that the red doesn't pass the 8 ball. Two frames to one to Craig Dixon. Scott Foster gets himself on the board. And that's one chance gone for Craig. Well, a dry break. Scott Foster comes to the table with a little bit of a mess. If you can find a plant to open his account, then yeah, it's still a bit messy, isn't it? I think I prefer yellows. Or do I? Tough. Yeah, I think I do prefer yellows, you know. Not much between it really, because the reds are obviously awkward. But the two yellows around the 8 ball are a problem. So kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I just like the position of the yellows in terms of better options to try and develop the tricky balls. And actually the one below the 8 ball, if he can find the potting angle, which judging by where he cued there a second ago, it might all open up for him. If he can find the angle and potting it, he can open out the other yellow at the same time. That was well controlled. I think he's got a nice angle that he can just nip the cue ball back down the inside, yeah, just the inside of the red. Just a little bit more angle, maybe can just nip the cue ball back. I think he can just hold. But it's a delicate little little stun shot. Yeah, and they can go wrong. They can go wrong. It was such a delicate little shot. And maybe just trying to pinch a little bit of the pocket as well, knowing that it should drop in at dead weight. Second prize, covered the pocket and a nasty table. I think at worst Scott has to get a red over that left hand corner pocket, which would just make things tricky. It would just mean that Craig would need to try and maneuver the cue ball from potting the one over the right corner to the right hand side of the table. If he gets something, yes, needed to get some kind of cover for me. That would have made it really tricky, because the last yellow and the 8 would both want to go into that bottom left pocket. It's a surprise. Just a little containing shot. Now, the important thing here, I don't mind that shot, but do you know what? I think I would have preferred to see just play that at dead weight and leave the red. If he'd have left the red in the path of the 8 ball, this is, for me, this is why it was always a case of trying to get a ball over that bottom left pocket, because it takes away this shot. because then the 8 ball only goes into right centre, and it was always going to be a problem to get across there from that ball over the pocket. But anyway, regardless of that, it's Craig Dixon who takes the spoils, who wins that game. And as previously mentioned, next up is going to be Ben Sabre against John Bevan. We'll be back with that action very soon.